Some new faces are now on display at the Riverside Discovery Center this summer. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, there's some new additions at the Riverside Discovery Center in Scottsbluff this summer. KNEB.TV's Mackenzie Anderson has that story.
The Riverside Discovery Center has some new furry and feathery members to add to their 23-acre family. Executive Director Anthony Mason says the zoo just recently gained 3 new friends and they all have a special purpose.
We have a male zebra who's come here from another zoo as part of a species survival plan recommendation for him to breed with our 2 females that we have here. Gestation for the females is about 1 year, so we are hoping for some offspring in spring or early summer of 2022. We've also had an American badger come here to the zoo that was orphaned and at the time was deemed to be too young to take care of itself. So we have him set up temporarily in our primate building until he'll move outside into a different outdoor exhibit when he gets a little bit bigger to handle that, which will be pretty quick. They grow very fast, so you can stop by and say hi to him here over in that building. And then we also have a great horned owl who we believe was hit by a car and had sustained some significant injuries to the ribs and to her eye. And so we don't think that she has a lot of vision there in that eye. And she was also deemed unreleasable into the wild. With the rib injuries and the eye injury, she probably would have passed away in the wild, but she's now eating really well here.
Mason also says the Discovery Center is a great opportunity for people to not only look and observe the animals, but for them to also learn a thing or two.
And an opportunity for people to see these wonderful animals up close, appreciate them, and we see that as a way to help educate people and teach them to care about their wild counterparts.
The zoo has many events coming up, including the Rowdy Reptiles on every Wednesday and weekend, and their splash pad party this Saturday, June 19th. And don't worry about not bringing enough water. They just recently opened a new concession stand to help beat the heat. With KNEB.TV, I'm Mackenzie Anderson.
Well, Nebraska state offices were closed today because of a new federal law that established Juneteenth as a recognized government holiday. Governor Pete Ricketts ordered the closure to comply with a state law that grants the same paid holiday benefits to state employees. They will receive a paid day of leave. Exemptions may include law enforcement, security, military, and state employees engaged in other essential functions. The governor's office said in a press release that all workers should receive official instructions from their agency director or personnel representative. Juneteenth is a holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, which occurred on June 19th, 1865. Well, coming up after the break, a few degrees cooler today. Bill Boyer's in with your weekend weather forecast right after this on KNEB.TV News.
At Platte Valley Bank, we believe it shouldn't cost you money to access your money. That's why we offer free ATMs anytime, anywhere. Whether you are across town or traveling abroad, there won't be an added expense to access the funds in your Platte Valley Bank account. Free ATMs are just one of the great benefits of banking with us. Stop by to talk to one of our friendly associates to discuss what else Platte Valley Bank has to offer.
High Plains Auto Club presents the Father's Day Rock and Roll Classic Friday, June 18th. Registration begins at 2 p.m. at the Gering Civic Center with a welcome barbecue, cruise for cash, ice cream social. Saturday, June 19th, a parade, show and shine, and awards banquet. To enter, go to highplainsautoclub.com or call 308-765-2418. This event is sponsored by Bill Winemaster Livestock, Bill and Jody Winemaster, Dooley Oil, Monument Inn and Suites.
If you're like me, you're willing to travel for a good steak and a great dining experience. Bobby Joe's Branding Iron in downtown Bayard has just that. Some of the Panhandle's tastiest flat iron steaks, ribeyes, and even prime rib. Pair that with a Western dining experience in our quiet dining room or fun-filled main dining area, you and your family are sure to have a great night out on the town. So if you're looking for a great new restaurant to try, you just gotta head on over to Bobby Joe's Branding Iron in Bayard, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner.
Logos in Gering is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gering.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, we've still got another hot one coming here tomorrow, and then maybe some relief on the way as we get later on into the weekend. Still 90 by 7 o'clock tonight as we had record high temps across the area again today. Temps only bottoming off into the 60s overnight. The heat wave slowly breaks down. Now, it's still going to be pretty hot through Saturday, but then Father's Day and Monday we look cooler, and we could see a few showers out there as well late this weekend. Yesterday, that is a record high at 105 degrees. It was a scorcher yesterday, and we only got down to 70. So certainly a super hot day yesterday, and another toasty one again today, and very dry out there in the rain gauge. In fact, very dry all across the area, to be honest with you, as you can see here on our drought monitor. We still dry conditions here for portions of the area. Don't be surprised, though, to see this moderate drought start to creep back in here as we've had very little rain. And if that continues, we're going to see these drought conditions worsen. And, of course, it has been hot. 21 degrees above normal yesterday. 2 days in a row we eclipsed 100. And we go back even further than this, but most of the last, since the 1st of June, really, we've been above normal. It has been a very warm June so far, and it is scorching hot in the eastern portions of the state. They've got the humidity there as well, as heat advisories and heat warnings even out for portions of eastern areas. It is very hot there, very hot here as well. Temps still in the 90s and near 100 degrees, even here as we get to the supper time hour. 88, though, in Gordon, 83 in Cheyenne. Winds occasionally a little gusty out, a couple of gusty storms around as well. Nothing severe expected tonight here in the area as we have quiet conditions. That severe weather threat moves even further away tomorrow, and Saturday or Friday as well. We're going to stay dry here across the area. Again, just an isolated thunderstorm moving through the area this evening. That's about it. They'll die off with the loss of daytime heating, and there's certainly plenty of daytime heating out there today, and there'll be plenty of warm temps tonight as well as we fall down only into a couple of areas in the upper 50s, most of us in the low 60s. Back to tomorrow now. We pick up our futurecast in the morning with a couple of clouds. We'll have some breaks in the clouds. It'll be sunny for a good portion of the day. We'll average it all out. It'll be partly cloudy, and even lesser coverage of showers tomorrow here across the area, maybe 10% at best, or even lower. Can't rule out a storm just because it's getting so hot. It can brew up storms pretty easy. But notice we kept the triple digits off the map tomorrow, but knocking on the door of it anyway at 99 in Scotts Bluff, Ogallala, Oshkosh at 98 for tomorrow as well. And if we get any precip, it is going to be very light and very spotty at best. Partly cloudy overnight, 62 for a low. For tomorrow, we're going to call it, well, another hot one. And here's highs near 99. That heat wave continues for, another couple of days. Tomorrow for sure. I think we'll dial back a little bit on Friday, be in the low 90s. Back in the upper 90s on Saturday. And then, the break comes. Father's Day and into Monday, we've got high temps back to near 80, maybe not even getting to 80. Upper 70s to near 80 degrees. We'll be in the upper 80s on Tuesday, and we turn hot again for Wednesday of next week, back into the upper 90s. But notice those lows starting Father's Day night down into the low 50s. It'll be nice to open up those windows again.
a year 2020 was. Now's the time to get out and travel this summer to see family and friends you were not able to see this last year. Spend more time enjoying your trip by flying United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with daily flights to and from Denver. Reserve your flight today and remember United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. And don't forget, Thrifty Car Rental is here for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and hitch a ride with your BFF, Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
You might not know that Renewal by Anderson is a local family business. The owner here is Andy Stelflew. He's a fourth-generation rancher who learned about customer service and the land of opportunity early on.
Over and over again I heard, it's about the customer. It's signature service, treating the customer the right way. What a blessing it is to live in America. What a blessing it is to live in a country of the free, that if you want to do something grow, you can.
Renewal by Anderson, great windows and great local people who never forget it's about the customer.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
Welcome back. A 23-year-old Scottsbluff man and former para-educator at Gering Public Schools has pleaded no contest to 2 counts of third-degree sexual assault of a child following a November investigation by the Gering Police Department. Ramon Lazoya pleaded no contest to the Class 3A felonies yesterday in district court and faces up to 3 years on each count when sentenced in August. The victim told police that Lazoya offered to help her with her schoolwork, but while he was next to her, he inappropriately touched her multiple times. She also said his phone was out and appeared to be taking photos of her. In a separate case, Lazoya also pleaded no contest to a single amended misdemeanor charge of debauching a minor after he was initially accused of having sexually explicit relationships with a 13-year-old foster child. Sticking with the courts now, as a 45-year-old Mitchell man has been sentenced for his role in a November 2019 assault, but is still facing 3 counts of first-degree sexual assault of a child in a separate case. Earlier this year, a jury convicted Joel Batanker of third-degree domestic assault and was sentenced to 365 days in county jail with 125 days credit for time already served. He was scheduled to be back in court on Wednesday for his pretrial hearing for allegedly molesting a 7-year-old girl on multiple occasions sometime between 2008 and 2009, but that hearing was continued until August. And staying with the courts, as a 63-year-old man arrested on a pair of felony drug charges following a series of controlled drug buys conducted by the Wing Drug Task Force last year has been sentenced. Eric Marshall was sentenced to 3 years of probation yesterday after pleading no contest to 1 of his 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance back in April. Court documents say Marshall sold methamphetamine to a cooperating individual at his residence on the west side of Scottsbluff, once in February and again in March, each time involving approximately 2.1 grams of the drug. Well, still to come, your Friday in the Fields, weekend community calendar, and your Friday 5. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this. Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
In boots, new and old, you've walked the rows of life, a fence length of time. You fought the floods, snow, and sweltering heat, and lifted breathing and settled pain. With a smile and a cry, you've strengthened your community and future generations. Sometimes with nothing to say. Often can't say enough. Like, let me do it again.
Welcome to Fridays in the Field, being brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. I'm Susan Littlefield, and we are back outside of Columbus, Nebraska. Last time we were here, it was cold, it was windy, it was rainy, and not a lot of crops were growing. Now we've already seen alfalfa cut for the first time and just finished up baling. Corn is out of the ground looking great, and soybeans as well, as irrigation has started to run like we've seen for many across the country, with warmer temperatures continuing to move in. And of course, we are going to talk not only with Jim Camrath today, but his grandson Ben, as we talk about some diversification within the farming operations. So Jim, let's start out with this alfalfa. Last time we talked, you were getting ready to get it cut. You were excited to see what this first crop was going to look like. Now the field's been cut. What are you seeing?
We're really pleased with the outcome of the alfalfa. This new crop that we put in last August, it was exceptional, I thought, except for the dryland corners, which we're going to have to redo. And have a patch that's 4 years old, and it turned out really well. So yeah, we're really pleased that the way it turned out, the way the weather started. We was kind of leery of it, but so yeah, it was all good anyway.
Well, the bales look absolutely gorgeous out there, and I know you, along with many producers across the state, were having to bale at literally dawn's early light to be able to get this done because of moisture concerns.
Yeah, we go out and try to rake it, and if it was too dry, and you try to go out early in the morning, and it was too damp, and so yeah, it's kind of a challenge at times. Yeah.
I want to talk about your grandson Ben, as he just walked into the shop. What's it like farming with your grandson?
Oh, he takes up a lot of the things I can't do anymore. the lifting and everything like that, and he takes up a lot of slack here, let me tell you. He's a good help, and his brother Noah as well. And I'm really happy that they like to come out and help and take an interest in it.
It's probably neat to see the next generation, having that desire and passion for agriculture.
Yeah, it's kind of how do I want to say, a dying art somewhat, that a lot of people just don't want to get into it anymore. I guess maybe it's finances, maybe it's the work about it, I don't know. But when you was growing up on the farm, I guess that's in your blood, so that's why I'm here to this day.
Well, we're now bringing Ben Camrath into the conversation. Ben, of course, is the grandson of Jim, and just graduated high school and heading to UNL this fall, looking at agriculture. So exciting times for you as you finish up one part of your life and you move on to a new adventure.
Yeah, I'm going down to Lincoln in the fall, and then I'm going to major in mechanized systems management, so that should be good.
What's it like farming with Grandpa?
It's fun. I've always enjoyed coming out here. I mean, I've always had good memories out here. I mean, stuff goes wrong and stuff breaks, and that's not always fun, but I guess it's part of it. It's always interesting. Learned a lot. Every time I come out here, I learn something new, it feels like. I always want to try something new.
One of the things that you guys have, another cash crop, is pumpkins. And you do that with your dad and your brother Noah and Grandpa. Let's talk about the pumpkin operation.
We've been doing that now for about 10 years, and when he first started, I think he started at like an acre maybe, and he just wanted to sell it at like farmers markets and stuff and just kind of sell them around, and then kind of got more public, I guess, and it kind of started spreading, and now he takes pickup bed loads out to Omaha and to Schuyler. He takes them all over. Usually my aunt in Omaha sells 3 or 4 pickup bed loads full every year. I know he goes to Schuyler with a bunch, and then here around Columbus, and then sells them to a whole bunch of families, and then we always get a whole bunch of people that come out here and just pick up whatever they want. And so this year now we're about 2 acres he planted, so we've grown about an acre, which doesn't sound like a lot, but with pumpkins, I guess it adds quite a few. So
in 2 acres, how many seeds are you talking about being planted?
This year he's got roughly between 2,500 and 3,000 seeds, somewhere right there, and then kind of depends on how many of them decide to germinate and how many of them bloom, so we'll see.
Done by hand?
Oh yeah, all by hand.
So what's your biggest takeaway from the past 10 plus years? And I mean, obviously you were probably farming with Grandpa and your uncle and dad for many years before that, but what are some of your biggest takeaways of your time on the farm?
Just the work ethic that you got to have. you got to have that work ethic to just keep going, even if something breaks or something doesn't go your way, or like if the markets are bad. You just got to have that drive and that passion for it in order to keep going, because it's just, it's hard. I mean, you can't, because you never know what's going to happen. You could have a bad storm come through that just wipes out everything, and then you're left with nothing. It's just, I mean, there's a lot of hope, basically. You got to have that hope that everything will work out and everything will be fine, and then just the work ethic part of it. And you'll always be learning. Don't ever stop, because you might think you know how to do it the best, but there'll always be something new that'll come along that might work better, and you just kind of got to try new things and always try expanding and see what works, and you just got to try it.
Well, that's been this week's Fridays in the Field, being brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. Again, we've been outside of Columbus, Nebraska. Thanks again to both Jim and Ben Camerath for inviting us out to the farm and getting a chance to not only see some great smelling alfalfa, but look at those pumpkins as well.
New looks and new decor can be found at Compliments for You and Your Home. Check out the newest styles from Tribal, Charlie B, Ethel, and more. Compliments also has the shoes, purses, and jewelry for any occasion. Plus, right now, get 20% off all clearance apparel. While here, take a look at our solar lights and felt birdhouses. Finally, visit our newest addition, Katie Chandler and her salon. All this at Compliments for You and Your Home, 1708 Broadway, downtown Scotts Bluff.
When it comes to helping local folks with the loans and financial advice they need, we don't horse around. Our only goal is to help you and your family achieve your financial goals with the right loans and savings products. So if you want to bank with people that care about you and your financial needs, stop by or give us a call. First State Bank. We're big on you. Member FDIC. Online at fsbcentral.com.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. That's a look at today's community calendar, brought to you by First State Bank, honoring those who give back. Nominate your community champion at fsbcentral.com.
The 100th Annual Oregon Trail Days rolls into Gering July 8th through the 11th. Barbecues, street dance, food fair, a car show, 2 parades, Old Settlers Luncheon, bicycle hill climb, mud volleyball, a pancake feed, chili and barbecue cook-offs, an art show, a craft show, and a quilt show, a carnival, beer and wine tasting, and Sawyer Brown with Ned Ledoux at Five Rocks. It's summer's best weekend. The 100th Annual Oregon Trail Days, July 8th through the 11th. The 100th Annual Oregon Trail Days rolls into Gering July 8th through the 11th. Barbecues, street dance, food fair, a car show, 2 parades, Old Settlers Luncheon, bicycle hill climb, mud volleyball, a pancake feed, chili and barbecue cook-offs, an art show, a craft show, and a quilt show, a carnival, beer and wine tasting, and Sawyer Brown with Ned Ledoux at Five Rocks. It's summer's best weekend. The 100th Annual Oregon Trail Days, July 8th through the 11th.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scotts Bluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
Why bank at a local community bank? When you choose a local community bank, you keep money in our local economy. That money helps support local jobs, schools, and businesses. Money that helps fund a stronger and prosperous community for us all to enjoy and live in. At Platte Valley Bank, we are here to help build and support the community we love being a part of. We believe that together, we can make great things happen. Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, before we break for the weekend, Bryce and Alex are in with your Friday Five.
No drizzle happening here. This is a turd machine.
This is a 2-ingredient thing. It does not...
It's taking a lot of muscle to crush those. You look like you're on your tippy toes.
I'm little! Hey!
Folks, there's a big issue happening in America right now.
If you haven't heard the news, there are 15 million boxes of unsold Girl Scout cookies across the nation.
But you can do something about it.
We have 5 different things you can do with Girl Scout cookies once you get them in your kitchen.
So we're helping the Girl Scouts use up some of these cookies. Going to show you the first thing you can do. It's called Thin Mints Popcorn. Real simple recipe here. I'm going to put a little Bryce spin on it. What's a Bryce spin, you might be asking? I don't use measuring cups. Come along for the adventure. We're going to have some fun. All right, so the recipe calls for, roughly 12 Thin Mints. Bryce's World, that means 15 to 20. We're going to crush them. So here we go. And then we're going to go ahead and take popcorn, Thin Mint. What? And we're going to put the popcorn in. Does that mean pop it with it? It says crush them with the popcorn. In a microwave, melt the baking chips. My bad. Okay, so these go in here. We're going to melt the baking chips with shortening. Let's give that a whirl. And next we need some shortening, Alex. So the recipe calls to melt this until smooth. We're going to give it a shot. Okay, man, look at that. That's what I call smooth. Okay. Oh my. I'm going to do, a Bryce Audible here. We need a few more Thin Mints in here. Going back to the crush. I'm not going to lie. That is surprisingly good. You combine the salt with the sweet, you just get a really good combination. So folks, there you have it. It got a little messy, but our first recipe, Thin Mint Popcorn.
Okay, so you learned one thing you can do with Thin Mints. We're moving on to lemonade Girl Scout cookies. We're gonna make some no-bake lemonade pie. I'll show you how it's done. First, it says we need to crush an entire packet of lemonade cookies. I will be doing that with my hands. Crush. Crush. Crush, 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 crush.
It's taking a lot of muscle to crush those. You look like you're on your tippy toes.
I'm little! Hey! We're gonna move on to the next step. We have to mix this crushed cookie with 1/3 of something of melted butter. I assume 1/3 of a stick. So this is making like the crumble like the pie crust. So we're gonna put that on the bottom of a pie pan. All right, so this is making the graham cracker crust. I'm gonna give it a nice little mixy mix. Crust, pressing into the bottom of this pan here. So now we need to make the filling. We're gonna do cream cheese, powdered sugar, and a little bit of lemon juice. So now I'm adding in Cool Whip to this. You're actually supposed to put it on top, but I'm gonna fold it in with this. Look at that, this is gonna be good. All right, now's the moment. We're gonna put it in here. And now we have a no-bake lemonade pie with lemonade Girl Scout cookies. Cool.
So we've got 2 things down so far. You might be wondering, what the heck else can you do with this? We're gonna show you. This recipe is called Peanut Butter Trail Mix Fudge. Step 1, we're going to do all of these guys, these melted candy coating deals. We're gonna do a half a cup of this guy, back to Bryce's way of measuring. And then, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go back to the microwave. Really, I would say my mixing abilities are just a little bit better than my opponent today. Okay, now we're gonna mix in some nuts. And then, roughly a half a cup of these. Refrigerate until firm. There you go.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, so you can help with the oversupply of Girl Scout cookies. Thank you for that warning. All you gotta do is buy them and eat them, and you can make them into cool things.
Thanks, guys. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back here on Monday.